Welcome to the Irish NFL Show, brought to you by QuinnBet. We're very fortunate this evening to be graced by the presence of Mr. Ron Rivera, General Manager of Cal Football and charged with looking after the University of California, Berkeley Golden Bears. Familiar to many on this side of the Atlantic, of course, is the former coach of the Washington Commanders, the man who led the Carolina Panthers to the Super Bowl, and a vital cog in the fearsome defense of the legendary '85 Bears team, who won the Lombardi so memorably in Super Bowl 20. Welcome, Ron. And by the way, congratulations first off, because I realized that you've just received a recent honor from UC Berkeley. You were awarded the Glenn Seaborg Award, which is a very prestigious honor, and congratulations to you on that.
Thank you, Connor. Yeah, it is very prestigious because it does go to an alum, former student athlete that played football, but also somebody that has gotten re-involved, reconnected, or has been involved with the university. And my wife and I, Stephanie, have done that. We've been very fortunate to have, been able to stay connected to the university. I'm back as the general manager, and my wife, Stephanie, is also on the board of trustees here. So it's been really a great connection for us, and I'm very proud to have received that. So thank you for bringing that up.
It's a lovely thing to see, Ron, and it's fascinating how your career and your academic life have come back full circle. And I know both you and Stephanie have put a huge amount into the college over the years, and you've stayed connected, and you've been very involved in fundraising and philanthropy. So it's a wonderful story to see that connectivity. It obviously means an awful lot to both of you.
Oh, it does. It does. And just kind of a side note, I don't know if you know, but one of our provosts out here is from Ireland. Oliver O'Reilly is one of our professors that is actually working at the university. He is from Ireland, a terrific man. And he and I have talked a little bit because, I've had an opportunity to travel to Ireland. I've played in Ireland as a player and coached in Ireland as well. So it's kind of neat, and it's been a little special. So Oliver's been a terrific supporter of ours as far as college athletics is concerned as well.
That's great to hear, and obviously we'd love to have you back too, whether visiting just for pleasure or you never know that the Golden Bears could be here with in week zero some year, which would be very exciting.
Believe me, I would love to do that just because I enjoy the country. My wife and I have not only come out here for football, but we've come out here for pleasure and golf, and it's a beautiful country. It really is. The food is much better than people realize. It's not just about potatoes.
It's so true. People sleep on the food offer here, and it's lovely to hear you say that because we got some great produce, and we got people who know what to do with it.
One of my favorite spots really is Dublin. I played there in one of the games way back when I was a player, and I loved it. And we've been back a couple other times. So yes, it's great to be on, Connor. Thank you.
Well, fingers crossed we can have you back here, and in whatever capacity. Obviously, we'd love to see you grace these shores again with Stephanie. That'd be very cool indeed. So let's hope that we can make that happen, or that the stars align for that at some point. I'm smiling when I talk about your connectivity to Cal, because it's interesting to see a former alumnus at your rival university, Andrew Luck at Stanford. Media making a lot of that one. That's fun, right? The game should be interesting.
Yeah, that was a tough pill to swallow. They got the best of us this year. So, but again, it's about sportsmanship. So I congratulated him on them, and now I look forward to next year. It's going to take me about 350 more days before I get a chance to get even with Andrew. But it was good to see Andrew. He is really one of the really terrific guys in football. Had a tremendous NFL career, a tremendous collegiate career, and now he, like I, back supporting his university as well. So that's been very cool. Thank you, Connor.
You're very, very busy with the Cal program. You got some big decisions to make.
Yep.
I guess this is where you want to be, right? Though, and it must be exciting being in the front office and getting to make those big decisions on who your new head coach is going to be. And we await with bated breath to hear who that will be.
Yes, it is. We're working right now to try and see if we can get a contract done for our lead candidate. He's a terrific young man who I think can come back. He's also an alum, so he'll be a big part of what we're trying to do is in terms of regrowing this program to where we're a top 25 program that we can be competitive, get an opportunity to compete for an ACC championship, and get an opportunity to compete for a national championship. And, this is the first big step. So I'm looking forward to that opportunity.
How do you navigate your way around NIL and the transfer portal and so much that's changed since you would have originally come through the university?
I think a lot of it is about what you have to offer, and not just money, but the prestige of going to the University of California, Berkeley, the number one public institution in the United States. I think that that's one of our selling points, the connectivity that our student athletes have with our student body and our alums is also a big selling point. So there's a lot of things that we try to do, but when you get to the portal though, you have to be in position financially. You've got to have a good grip of your revenue share. You also have a decent grip of what you can do beyond the revenue share in terms of NIL. And we're starting to develop that. So that's been a really good thing for us, Connor, because we know that's something that, again, all the student athletes are looking at is what is in it for us financially. And then, as I said, the next piece for us is what's the connectivity we have academically and through our alumni.
How has nil money in particular, do you think, impacted on the player pipeline into the NFL? You got players now who have the possibility, and certainly in the talent positions, of making significant money before they ever turn professional.
Yes.
You've also got players, I guess, who can bounce around from program to program, and we see that happen more and more often. So, playing in the one program for 3 or 4 years is a comparative rarity now. Is it impacting on the way players are set up when they get to the NFL, because a lot of them can be financially
Yes.
very secure and they don't have as much incentive, I guess you could argue, at one level to perform. They also, in some cases, and we've heard Tom Brady among others call this out, they don't arrive as fully formed in some instances as maybe they did in the past. In other instances, obviously, they benefit from moving from place
Yeah.
to place.
And a great example of somebody that has benefited with it is Jaden Daniels. I mean, here's a young man that played for 3, 4 different universities, but he came out on the top end because he understands how to deal with it. Again, he's a young man that set a great example. But then on the other hand, you have guys that have gone to 3, 4, 5 different schools and haven't really been able to settle into the NFL. And a big part of it is they haven't developed what you need to have developed in terms of how do I cope with, how do I handle, how do I become part of. The second thing is you're not being trained specifically as an athlete anymore. Why? Because you're bouncing from one system to another system, and they're different schools, different terminology, different systems, different players, and they never really adapt. But then they go to the combine and they blow it out the water. Why? Because they're just great athletes. And some of these guys get a chance to perform as an NFL player, and it's like, well, wait a minute, he's a tremendous athlete. He runs this or he does that, but he's never really learned. He's never really grown within a program, within a system. So now he's got to learn all these techniques all over again. And in the NFL, there's not like a lot of time to wait, for this development to happen. So I think that's part of what's been happening, Connor, is you're getting guys that aren't fully developed football wise, and they haven't fully developed maturity in terms of how to cope with. So yeah, there's a lot of pitfalls as far as those things, especially if a young student athlete doesn't adapt and grow and becomes a solid football player and a solid person.
You mentioned Jaden Daniels, so maybe let's talk about the Commanders for a little bit. Both myself and Brian from the show here were fortunate to get to see the Commanders play in Madrid. Unfortunately, of course, because of the injury, we didn't get to see Jaden play.
Yep.
It's a frustrating season from a Commanders point of view, and yet you saw at Mile High, or sorry, that game was actually in Landover, wasn't it, against the Broncos. They can compete with the best. They still have the talent and they still have the coaching there. It's frustrating to see a year go by in the way it has for them, though.
It is, and it's been a frustrating year for a lot of teams due to injury, and they're just an example of. I mean, if you talk about what's been going on with the Ravens, you go, wow, you look at what happens when the quarterback's healthy. Look how they can beat. I mean, they put themselves right back into competition. They at one point were somewhere near the bottom of their division. Now they're at the top of the division. They've got a game. They've got a lead against the Ravens based on their schedule, winning and losing. So that's a plus for them. But then you look at some of the other teams and you go, wow, look at kind of where you got the Bears on top, and they're over the top of the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. And the Vikings have had some injuries. The Lions have had some inconsistent play. And the Bears are probably the healthiest of all those teams. Now, we've still got several weeks left to play, so we'll see what happens. So it's been very competitive, but a very interesting season as far as the NFL is concerned. And I do think the injuries are something that's really playing into it this year.
And I'm going to have to declare an interest at this point because I am a Bears fan, and obviously we're not in favor of cheering in the breast box here, but we allow ourselves a little bit of latitude. And as you mentioned, the Bears, it's been a phenomenal season, first season for Ben Johnson. The schedule gets a lot tougher now, but so far they've been up to every challenge as it's come. They don't get much bigger, though, than going to Lambeau on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. I don't think I was a skeptic. I mean, I know they had won several games up to a certain point, and I kept saying, yeah, but they're beating the teams they should. The teams they're going to be struggles they had lost to initially, But what you've seen is, and again, credit to what Ben Johnson has done. I like to see him keep his shirt on, but I think what he's done has been very solid. It really has. And their passing game has just been very average. That's the thing that's been impressive. They've run the ball very, very well, but their defense has also played much better too. So this team is starting to come together. They may be a little bit ahead of schedule in terms of where they should be. And we'll see as this continues. This is a great test because it is up in Lambeau where historically they haven't played very well. But it is also a situation where this has been their nemesis. If they can get past Green Bay, I'm completely on the bandwagon. I'll be honest. I mean, I was skeptic, but these last 2 weeks have shown me this team has become very, very competitive. And again, congratulations what Coach Johnson has done. He's kind of boosted himself into position for the NFL Coach of the Year award. I mean, I think there's some very solid candidates. I like what's going on up in New England. I like what's going on down in Jacksonville. But I also want to give credit to what's been going on with the 49ers, because this is a team that's been devastated by injury, but yet they're still near the top of the NFC with nine victories still, and despite the fact that they've been beat up all year. So I think Kyle Shanahan's done a nice job as well. So this year has been probably one of the most competitive seasons I've seen because there are no undefeateds. The only team that's really kind of separated themselves for right now, as far as their division is concerned, is what we're seeing what's going on with New England. I mean, the Patriots are by far, the best team with 11 wins, and so we'll see what happens though. I mean, there's still several weeks left to go.
And the Panthers, of course, very much in the mix, and with a quality victory against the Rams at the weekend. I mean, that was a great win.
Right, it really was, and again, credit to what Dave Canales has been doing there. I mean, he's really stepped up and has taken his game to a whole nother level as far as being a head coach. But my only concern with them is their big victories come at home. Okay, they got a 4-2 record at home, which tells you they're 3-4 on the road. And if they can be a little more consistent on the road, they're going to be a team that's got an opportunity. Now, they do have an opportunity. Some teams have got to lose, but they got to continue to win. This really is shaping up to be a very good opportunity for the Carolina Panthers to be back on the road, put themselves back into contention. And again, as I said, I think Dave Canales has done a tremendous job there as well.
I wanted to ask you about an interesting stat that's potentially on the books this season, which is that the Denver Broncos seem to be on course to break the sack record that your 85 Bears set and that you contributed to. Is that something that, as a former player, you look at? Do you want them to break it? Do you want them not to break it? Is it something you hold close to your heart?
Well, it is close to my heart, but the old saying is that records have been meant to be broken. I think you also got to look at the era in terms of it too, because to me you can't judge people and compare eras. The style of football that's being played now is conducive to sacks. I say that because teams are throwing the ball at a higher rate than they've ever thrown it, and they didn't throw it at the rate that when we played. So again, for this era, this may be one of the all-time great sack teams right now. They've done a tremendous job. Credits to what they're doing. What they're doing as far as having 10 wins and the way they're being coached. I think this team is one that's going to be reckoned with. I don't think anybody wants to go into Denver during the playoffs because of the climate there. I mean, it's a tough climate and it's a great crowd. And again, I know that what Sean Payton has done has been really solid football.
With the favoring of the passing game, as you point out, what we've also seen is the evolution of pass rushers. I mean, some of these guys are terrifying athletes, like a Nick Bonito or a Myles Garrett. I would not want for any money to be staring down the barrel of one of those guys coming at me.
I will tell you this, Connor, it is a frightening thing to see, and I can only imagine. I've never had to stare at an NFL pass rush. But I will say this, you're right. The type of athlete is a completely different player. These guys are track stars, and by that I mean guys that have tremendous explosion out of the blocks, guys that get vertical very quickly, have enough agility and flexibility to bend that corner or enough strength to make an up and under move and clear that path to the quarterback. So yes, it is a tremendous thing. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's one of the more dynamic plays in the NFL to watch a guy have a sack, especially after having to make a great pass move or a tremendous athletic move to get to the quarterback.
Before we let you go, Ron, one thing that I really did want to ask you about, because you talk about trends and how things have changed, and I want to give credit where credit is due. You earned the nickname Riverboat Ron at one stage. Of course, you knew
Yes.
this was going to come up. But it's fascinating now how going for it on fourth down is something that everybody does. And look, here's the guy who started it, and it was seen as gambling. Now it's justified by the analytics, and
Right.
everybody's all over it.
But see, that's the problem though, the justification. The numbers say it's okay. I talk about this all the time, and that's what happened between Detroit and San Francisco, in the playoff game. Dan had a chance to go ahead and kick the field goal and go up by 3 scores. From me, mathematically, that's what I would have done. Dan did it because that's what he does. He did all the time. I wanted people to understand I didn't do it all the time. I tried to calculate when I would do it in my own mind using my own experience. And one thing I have noticed is that analytics don't tell you to go for it because you're going to convert it. Analytics really only tells you that if you go for it and convert, you increase your chances to win. That's all it's telling you. I mean, you can look at it and say, yeah, these analytics say that, I convert 75% of the time on my fourth downs, which is great. But what about that 25% when you don't convert? That's what you've got to measure it against, is that, man, okay, if I don't convert here, also, what does it say that it increases my chances to lose? So you have to go based on a lot of gut feeling, but what is telling you the trend is? How is that game going? How is that guard tackle combination that you're going to run over blocking today? Is that 3 technique a good matchup against my guard? Is that blitzing a linebacker going to happen? Is the referee going to make a bad call or miss a call or misspot the ball, which I've argued about a lot of times. So I think there's so many things that you have to take into consideration that it's not just a willy-nilly, I'm going for it. Oh, well, the numbers say that it's okay. Those numbers, again, people got to understand what they really are telling you. Are they telling you what your percentage you're gonna convert? I mean, like doing the tush push, which I'm not a big fan of. I think it's an illegal play because if you can't push somebody for a field goal block, why can you push somebody for trying to get a first down? Okay, to me, it's the same. It's the same opportunity for injury as well. So I don't think that's fair. That's another story. But when you can convert at 90% rate, yeah, you should go for it. But if all it says is that it is going to increase your chances to win, then to me, you as a coach have to really be very thoughtful and go through that process, decide whether or not you're going to try and convert.
One aspect of it that I'm very interested in getting your insight on as somebody who's had to make those decisions, and it's something that intrigues me in the way that Dan Campbell in particular approaches it, is there's an aspect to it, I think, it seems coming from his standpoint that
Right.
I'm telling my players that I trust you. I trust you
Right.
all day long. I trust you in the regular season. I trust you in the playoffs. When it's all on the line, I'm going to go for it because I know you guys can get it done. I love that.
And you're right, Connor. That does play big, very, very big into the mindset of your team. Because I will tell you, the first time I really started to do it was my 3rd season. It was the 2011 season. No, excuse me, it was the 2013 season, my 3rd year, and we did it in our game against the Giants, which we shut them out. I think we beat them like 35-0 or something like that, or 34-0. But what happened was on that first series, I went for it on 4th down twice, and we punched in on the 4th and 1 for the touchdown. And it was the first time I really truly did that. And Cam came off the sideline, handed me the football, and said, "Thank you for trusting me. I will never let you down." And I'm going to tell you, the way he said that to me, it gave me so much confidence that if I really thought through the process, that's why I did it. And from that point on, like you said, Connor, that's a huge thing that tells our guys, hey, man, I trust you. Let's roll, baby.
I love that, Ron. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Best of luck with the program this year, and get that head coach signed. I wish you luck against Andrew Luck next time around. I hope it swings in Cal's favor the next time the renewal of the game happens. And of course, as we were saying at the outset, we'd love to see yourself and Stephanie back over here again. And I hope we get to meet up in real life when you do so.
Well, Connor, when I do, I'll let you know, because like I said, I've truly loved my time anytime I get to visit Ireland. Wonderful people, lovely people, and a wonderful country. So again, thank you guys for your time. And hey, as we always say around here, go Bears.
Love to hear it.